and welcome to year 3 of Gustclan. This year is a lot more eventful than the previous one, with a lot more cats coming and going. And also wanted to give a heads up, some of the designs as I was drawing them, I forgot certain details, and so I corrected them later. So the drawing might not have those details, but at the very end I will show the updated image of those cats so that the changes can be seen and, you guys are up to date with how they're actually looking, like to do with scars and things. Yeah, so just wanted to say that up front, get that out of the way. Yeah, so year 3, it's pretty busy. There's lots going on. I look forward to seeing what you guys think of what happens. So feel free to comment and let me know what you think of the clan so far and how things are going. And yeah, I will have year 4 out before too soon, hopefully. And that should be quite interesting too. I kind of delved into that one a little bit. And oh boy, is there a lot going on in year 4 as well, it looks like. But anyways, this is year 3. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're liking this series, please feel free to like and subscribe so you're alerted for the next video to see this clan continue to grow and live through their life. So without further ado, let's get into the cats. But first, here's a little animation I made real quick of how things would have started for this clan before they left for their new home. And real quick, a little blood warning. So if you are not good with seeing a little bit of fake blood, drawn blood, then just skip until you hear my voice come back and not the voice is used for this little clip.
What's the point in healing if they all just die?
Blood will fall as rain, and the earth will be covered in the innocent. You must leave. The clans are no longer safe.
But where would we go? And I don't think the clan would listen to me.
You will not tell the clans, only the cats that StarClan has chosen.
If the clan is in danger, shouldn't they know?
You have a good heart, Rymuzzle, but they are beyond saving. The clans have sealed their fate. You and 5 other cats are the last hope. Gather these cats, leave WinClan, and start fresh. Give your new clan a new name and live honorably. Do these things and you will flourish long after the old clans have faded from memory.
So first up we have Roachstar. And while the previous year was pretty simple, this year starts off with some tough decisions needing to be made. With their numbers being small and the other clans growing, he talks with his mate and Deputy Pheasant River about everything that he thinks, needs to be done or, should consider changing. They end up deciding to allow other cats to join the clan to help their numbers grow in case another clan decides to challenge them. As they've been in their new territories for coming on 3 years now, the territory disputes are starting to happen a little bit, so they just kind of want to make sure that they have the numbers to stay strong and not have the other cats consider trying to encroach on their territory. He even ends up talking to Timberscar about this, as she was deputy in the very early days, and a medicine cat now, and a trusted confidant. Not to mention, he thinks he's been hearing the voices of StarClan recently, and needs her help in understanding what it could mean. Yeah, other than that, not a whole lot happens. He just ends up deciding the fate of different cats if they can stay or not through the year. Pheasant River is often busy taking on more serious tasks for Roachstar, which she doesn't mind as she is a more serious cat than him, but it also means she doesn't interact with the kits very much. So she ends up overhearing Hickory Kit complaining about her since she refused to play with him a few times. Despite that, she for a moment daydreams about having kits with Roachstar, but soon forgets it as she decides they're far too busy to have kits and that the care of the clan comes first. Beyond this, the year is uneventful for her. She simply goes about her duties and checks in with the other cats as needed. Now, Flutterpatch actually changed a bit than I expected him. The first time he showed up in the clans, I wasn't too fond of him, but after this year, I quite like this cat. So let's get into his story for year 3. He has a soft spot for the kits, and has been slowly developing feelings for Leopardbelly as well. So he's more than happy to occasionally watch over and play with the kits so Leopardbelly can go out and stretch her legs. He's also a very observant cat, and has noticed the way Wispcrash looks over the kits. He has suspicions, and even mentions something in passing to the other Tom, which is denied, but he can tell Wispcrash isn't entirely honest in his response. He doesn't really do anything about it, as it's not his place, but he keeps an eye on things just to make sure he's able to be there for Leopardbelly in case she needs someone. This does lead him to being distracted from time to time, which earns him a scolding from Pheasant River at one point. When the kits finally become apprentices, he's surprised but also quite honored to have Hickory Paw become his apprentice. He takes his role very seriously and enjoys training the young Tom and guiding him into life as a warrior. Later on, he isn't surprised when Wispcrash does what he can to get him in trouble. He lets this roll off his back, being the bigger person or bigger cat in the situation. But he also decides that he doesn't want Wispcrash around Leopardbelly anymore, and figures it's time to make his move. He goes out for a walk with Leopardbelly and tells her how he feels about her. He can see she isn't sure about being mates, and even assures her that if he's overstepped, he'll back off. Despite wanting her, he would much rather keep her in his life as a friend than lose her altogether by pressing the matter. He's surprised and honored when she tells him that she will be his mate. He promises to always be there for her, and the two return to camp happy. He especially is pleased with how she steadily warms up to him more and more as time passes, and soon has pleasant surprises left for him in their nest when she happens to find something while out on patrol that she thinks he'd like. Despite things starting off on an unsure footing, they end up forming a strong bond and are quite happy together by the end of the 3rd year. Leopardbelly starts off the year pleased with Hickory Kit's kindness, though is worried about Cedar Kit as she seems to always be getting into trouble. She's grateful for Flutterpatch being around and helping her watch over them, as they can be awful at times. She's also grateful for him being willing to spar with her in camp and giving her something else to do from time to time, since she can't return to warrior duties until the kids are 6 moons. Other cats, along with Roadstar, also find little tasks for her to do around the camp, or spar with her to help keep her mind busy, as they've noticed how restless she can get when she's cooped up for a long time. However, later on, she is definitely not pleased when Wispcrash starts to approach her about wanting to take on a more fatherly role with the kids, after telling her that he didn't want anything else to do with her or them at the time of the affair. He hurt her a lot, especially since she'd only lost her first mate not long before the two of them got together. And she doesn't want her kids to risk getting hurt as well if he suddenly decided he didn't want the father role after a short time of being in it. So she refuses to let him take on, or let them know who he is and take on that role. Later on, she's proud of her kids when they become apprentices. It's not long after that Flutterpatch approaches her about becoming mates. She hadn't thought about taking on another mate due to her experience with that sort of thing previously. And she thinks on it and realizes after a bit how much Flutterpatch has been there for her and how much she does care about him. She isn't sure about being in love with him, but he was practically a father figure to the kids and she feels safe and comfortable with him. So she decides to agree to be his mate. It ends up being the right decision, as the more the two spend time together, the more she grows fond of him, to the point she thinks of him when she sees something she knows he'd like while out on patrol. At the end of the year, she ends up bitten by a snake due to being distracted by her thoughts, but survives and turns it into a crazy story to tell her kits. Another new cat is Rose. She was a kitty pet on a farm that lived with the 2 legs. However, after becoming quite sick, she was kicked outside, where the dogs chased her off the property. Wandering in a daze, a Gustclan patrol finds her and helps her back to the camp. Unfortunately, due to how sick she was and how much energy she exerted to get away from the dogs, she ends up passing away due to her sickness, despite the care of the medicine cats. For Wispcrash, he watches his kids grow up from afar, proud of them with every new accomplishment they make. It's a struggle for him to not openly care for them or be there as their father. In the end, he can't help but interact with them a little here and a little there regardless. It leads to him covering for Cedar Kit when she asks him not to tell on her when he spots her sneaking into the leader's den after being dared by her brother to do so. Later on, he spots Hickory Kit practicing some moves the kid had seen the older cats doing and was pulling it off decently for being so young, and congratulated him in passing, pride shining in his eyes at his son. There are times he'll sit with another warrior that's near the kits just so he can listen to them and imagine himself being part of their life more. Beyond that, he also spends the year getting injured a lot. He slips on a rock and dislocates a joint, sprains his paw in training, missteps and sprains his paw that way, falls off another, ledge or rock and dislocates his joint again, even goes so far as to get his tail chewed up by a dog at one point. He doesn't mind too much since it means he can hang out in the medicine cat den with his mate, and later with his daughter as well, even though no one but him knows she's his daughter. Halfway through the year, he does decide that he wants to openly be part of his kids' lives. He talks with Leopardbelly about this, but it turns into a disagreement as she no longer wants this after the way he turned his back on them before they were even born. He's annoyed by this, and when he notices her and Flutterpatch growing closer, jealousy gnaws at him. He ends up getting the other warrior in trouble a time or two in the hopes of it causing Leopardbelly to stay away from him, but it doesn't work. At the end of the year, he's still watching his kits from a distance, unhappy about it, and thinks back to his old friend Greytooth, and hopes he's doing well in StarClan, wishing he could get some of the older cats' wisdom. Timberscar often feels like she's going crazy with all the running around she has to do between gathering herbs and healing the warriors. And the one warrior she seems to be healing the most is Wispcrash, her mate. It gets to the point that she starts teasing him that he's doing it on purpose just so that he can spend more time with her, which she doesn't actually really mind. As he also helps with sorting the herbs and even gathering more while he is injured. When the kits become apprentices, she's pleased to hear that Cedar Paw wants to become a medicine cat, both because she's grown fond of the she-cat and because this means she'll be able to step down from being the medicine cat once Cedar Paw earns her name. A moon into having her new apprentice, the two stumble across a dead queen with her kits at the edges of their border. It saddens her to see their lives have ended before they really got a chance to begin, and with Cedar Paw's help, they find an appropriate spot to bury the cats and pay their respects one last time. She also takes a moment or two to spar with Roachstar. She misses her warrior duties and doesn't want her skills to get too dull, so is grateful for her friend being willing to help her keep her skills sharp. And the rest of the year is spent carefully training Cedar Paw and tending to her clanmates. Now, time for Cedar Paw. Well, she starts off as Cedar Kit, and as a kit, she is very close with her brother. She starts off the year being told something important by Leopardbelly, as it got accidentally revealed to her that their father was a cat within the clan. Excited about this knowledge, she rushes to tell Hickory Kit this. They have fun speculating about who it could be. Later on, she's long forgotten that nugget of knowledge as she runs around the camp at every chance she gets, getting into trouble frequently, and even wonders what other sort of trouble she can create. Despite causing chaos everywhere, she has a good heart and often volunteers to help cats, which helps others to have a soft spot for her, despite her energetic and troublesome nature. When it gets close to time for her to become an apprentice, she decides she wants to become a medicine cat, as she really admires Timberscar's healing abilities and loves the thought of talking with StarClan. So she requests this of Roachstar, who agrees. A moon into being Timberscar's apprentice, they find the bodies of a queen and her kits. The sight really bothers Cedar Paw, despite her putting on a brave face. She helps bury them properly, but it begins to put doubt into her if she can handle this path, after all. She confides in her brother Hickory Paw about what she experienced. He helps her work through it, and she continues with the medicine cat path with a new determination to make sure she would be able to help any other cats and prevent that fate for others within her clan. Unknown to her, her clanmates admire her quickly growing healing abilities and have faith that she will be an amazing healer. And then we have Brightfur. As a kitty pet, she often looked out at the wilderness and wondered what else was out there. While exploring one day, she runs into a patrol, and after some talk, she becomes fascinated by clan life and asks to join them. She is given the opportunity to become a warrior and does her best to prove her worth to the clan. She settles right into clan life and absolutely loves it. She eagerly goes out on as many patrols as she can, happy to explore the territory and help feed the clan. It's during one of these patrols that she hears something strange and alerts the others. This leads them to finding Bush, who is brought back to the camp for Roachstar to meet. Since she joined near the end of the year, not much else happens. She doesn't get along with Leopardbelly, but besides that, seems to be a good addition to the clan. Another cat that joined near the very end of the year is Finn. She ran into Wispcrash while out wandering around. Her group was brutally killed by a pack of dogs, and even she barely managed to escape with only minor wounds. Wispcrash brings her back to camp, and she's allowed to join. She tends to be tough on herself for not having saved her friends, and spends the last little time of the year just basically being very quiet and keeps to herself. And another new cat, Bush. She was a loner who had a special little spot where others would frequently come to her for healing. She'd heal cats, dogs, and anything really that seeked her out. Unfortunately, Two Legs Invasion drove her out. She stumbled across Gustclan and offered her healing services if allowed to join. They allowed her to join, but shortly after, she decided to take on the role of warrior after seeing all the healing cats that the clan already had, though offers her help whenever necessary. And at the very, very end of the year, the very last thing that happens to her is that she develops white cough. Now we have a new cat. She's a kitty pet that became sick, and her two legs decided after a bit that they no longer wanted to care for her and dumped her off next to a thunderpath. Thankfully, Roachstar and Flutterpatch stumbled upon her and took her back to the camp. She's grateful for the clan's kindness and asks Roachstar at one point if she can become a warrior when she gets better. He agrees, but sadly she dies a little over a moon later. Roachstar decides to honor her with the name Gold Runner, as he asks StarClan to accept her into their ranks, which she does make it into. She's amazed at StarClan and is honored to be there, and does what she can to look out for the clan from amongst the stars. Next we have Cedar's brother, Hickory Paw. As a kid, he's known for his kindness by his parents and anyone else he talks to, though also a touch annoying as he often pesters the older cats with questions. He also tends to talk in his sleep, which often annoys his sister. When he finally becomes an apprentice, he's excited to have Flutterpatch as his mentor, as he's grown close with the older Tom and looks up to him quite a bit. He dreams of making his clan proud, and his favorite thing to do is battle training. When he becomes aware of Flutterpatch and Leopardbelly becoming mates a little later, he wonders a bit what it would be like to have a mate and kits himself in the future. It's a minor thought he has for a bit before he returns to thoughts of becoming a warrior. He continues to hang out with Cedar Paw as the two are pretty close and is impressed with her kindness and compassion towards anyone who's hurt. He's proud of the way she's growing up and causing less trouble than when they were kids. His training is pretty uneventful, and at the end of the year he earns his warrior name, Hickory Runner. He's pretty pleased at having earned the name and being a full warrior of the clan. Not long later, Misty Fern joins the clan. The moment she walks into the camp, he's instantly drawn to her. She's not much older than him, and it doesn't take long for him to start flirting with her and showing her around the camp and territory, which she's happy to accept. Misty Fern is a cat that showed up at the very last moment in the year. She ran away from the old clans as she saw the death that was coming. She tried to find the cats that had left many moons ago but struggled. Eventually she finds Gustclan and discovers that they're the ones that left long ago and had broken off from Clan. She offers her healing services if allowed to join. She was previously a Shadow Clan medicine cat who had just finished her apprenticeship when she left. She'd been promoted to full medicine cat much earlier than most, as the clans were ignoring the previous rules or guidelines for when cats should become apprentices and warriors and medicine cats. So she's actually very young for where she is at in her training. She loves the open space of the moors and would much rather join Gustclan than seek out the Shadow Clan descendants who'd rename themselves to Swamp Clan. And so that wraps up year 3 for these cats. So as you can see, a lot of new cats showed up. And it seems like half of them died and the other half survived and are living on with the clan. So it's going to be interesting to see how the following year turns out. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed all that and following along on these cats' journey. I'm quite enjoying it, and I mean, the drama, especially for Wispcrash, Wispcrash, and Leopardbelly is really amping up. I thought that was just a done deal when the affair happened and nothing else really being said, but this year, oh my goodness, Wispcrash just can't make up his mind with where he wants to be and what he wants to do. And Leopardbelly, for good reason, is very much just down with him. And yeah, I'm quite happy with the way Flutterpatch stepped up and, was really there for her and the kits and all that good stuff. But yeah, if you thought that was a lot of drama that happened and changes, just wait till year 4 comes. Like I said, I dabbled ever so slightly into it, and the little I saw leads to even more drama. So, things are going to be interesting. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything, and yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.